How'd it go last night?
Good night.
Let's do it again tonight.
And my sister's playing downtown somewhere.
I stay for a few days. Why are you so angry?
That's my boss.
Hey, do you want to play?
Your hard drive is filthy. I mean, it is dirty.
Slowly.
Boy, Magneto loves to fuck. I didn't know he was so horny, man. I missed this chapter of the X-Men series.
Well, you didn't
Well, shame on him.
all that power. You didn't think it was going to be some kind of side effect like that?
That's true. If you had magnetic powers, sure, you might want to promote the mutant race. But first, you're going to fuck your brains
Well,
out.
yeah,
Hey, he ain't a pussy magnet for nothing.
I was going to say he's got magnetic powers already, magnetic personality to score that much tail.
Boy, I got to tell you, I often think back to my childhood, back when I was an 11-year-old boy who stuck his penis in a vacuum cleaner. I've always felt bad about that. I've always felt a sense of...
Is this part of spilled canon now?
It is. People, you can go on the Wikipedia page and say, Corey, 11 years old, stuck his penis in a vacuum cleaner. I've never felt exactly right by that. I have felt disturbed by it, but after watching this movie, I feel normal.
Not as disturbed as the vacuum cleaner feels.
Yeah, when do I get to tell my story over here?
Oh, don't worry. I took it out to breakfast, man. It's all right. But
You have to appreciate a movie where a guy is just fucking so much to where, wow, I'm jealous of this guy. Until there's a point where you go like, oh, shit, that's the other side of this? Never mind.
Oh yeah, that is the great move. The great thing about this movie, and I'm just going to jump right in and tell people what it's about because it's been getting a
It's
lot.
about a guy fucking.
It's pretty much.
Thank you very much. Good night.
The only Mimbo movie ever made.
Boy, I mean, this.
And that's what I missed. I was like, can't we just pretend this is just a regular
Seriously,
porno and I can talk
that's
about
all
it?
it is.
Dude, he fucks so much that there's a point where you can see he wants to stop, but he can't because he got his dick in something. He's crying like, I wish I could just go home right now.
He fucks so much, it's almost like just the transition they use between scenes. You know? It's not even like they're scenes in and of themselves. It's like, and now we got to go to this other place where he's over here, so let's show him fucking for 5 minutes.
He fucked so hard he went into the future.
It's almost like Michael Fassbender shot a porno movie early in his career, and somebody found that footage and said, like, you know what? I'm gonna use this and just make a movie out of it.
Make a plot out of it. Put that shit on DVD.
I bet there's a point where Michael Fassbender's dick is actually running down the street ahead of him. He's like, stop! Stop! Wait for me! Come back!
He's in hiding.
Come back! Hey! But this movie has been getting a lot of praise. And I have to praise it too, and I'll get into it why in a little bit. But Michael Fassbender, up and coming guy, at least here in America, we all
Say
know
that
him.
again.
Shit, he's got 3 big movies this year.
I mean,
well, at
we
least
know,
2 big movies and 1. Okay,
we know him from we know him from, of course, as being Magneto.
Yeah.
And X-Men. What was the other movie he's in?
Don't look at me, y'all were the
Oh,
one
well, he's in Inglourious Bastards. A lot of people know him from that.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
he
A lot
was
of people
in
know
that.
him from that, and then he's also in A Dangerous Method this year.
Dangerous Method. What was the Jane Austen movie that he was in?
I didn't even know he was in a Jane Austen movie.
Yeah.
Is he in Jane Eyre?
Yeah. Yes, that was him in Jane Eyre.
Is that a Jane Austen movie?
I don't
Or
think
does it
that's
just have Jane in the title?
Yeah, I don't think that's a Jane Austen.
Okay, whatever.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I
It
lose all
seems
these.
Jane Austen-esque.
Jane Austen, Jane Eyre.
I think that was one of them
Emily
Brontes.
Bronte.
I think that one of these Victorian bitches wrote this. I think Michael Fassbender had sex with her,
They
but
didn't have
Wasn't he
Prozac
also
then,
in New
they
Year's
just had-
Eve? I mean,
no, he might as well have been.
No, because if he had been in that, you would have seen him fucking Michelle Pfeiffer and Hilary Swank.
The way he is in this movie, you would have seen him fucking Ashton Kutcher. I mean,
damn.
but in fact, it would have been a 3D movie. His dick just would have just came towards the screen.
Would have fucked everybody.
It's why he doesn't even have a pet, because, you wouldn't help but think that pet is not safe. There's no way he hasn't fucked that dog.
and the thing is, you watch this movie, there's no way you would invite this guy into your home.
Yeah, if
He'd be
you
like,
knew this
even
about
if he
him.
was playing like, look, I was just an actor playing a part. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I have women in my family, and you ain't coming. out close.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess you're getting ready to tell us what it's about because all I'm thinking right now is this guy is just fucking just about everything and anything.
Think American.
Well, that's what it's about.
Think American Psycho if he wasn't a serial killer.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
pretty much what this movie is.
Well, I'll tell you, Cole, what it's about. Michael
Tell me.
Fassbender, he plays a guy named Brandon. Now, Brandon is a 30-something New York professional, and he has a problem. His dick is very cold, and he has to always stick it in something to keep it warm. Translation, he has a sex addiction.
It's like Speed.
If his dick starts moving less than 50 miles an hour,
Yeah.
he will die.
It will blow up.
Yeah, it's Tom Cruise problem. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now, although he clearly has a problem, he's not really forced to face his condition until his younger sister Sissy comes in to move in with him, kind of forcefully. He doesn't want her there, but it's his sister. He lets her stay, and it's because of her own instabilities that he's eventually forced to kind of face up to what his true addiction is. And what I love about this film is that, and it has problems, but what I love about it is that, I mean, we still shun sex addiction as, that's just somebody who just loves to have sex, whatever. This movie is the first thing that made me think like sex can be as much an addiction as drugs or alcohol, because this guy, I mean, just the things that he go, and I don't know, and this might be exaggerated here, but the way this guy is wandering the streets, just not even wanting to be out there, just looking for something, literally to like put his penis in, is disturbing and also just very sad.
Now you know what it's like being your friend, Corey.
Yeah. This movie is your intervention.
It is one of those things that it's not a film that really has a plot per se. I mean, it does kind of, but it's more just about a very small series of interactions between this guy and his sister. I'm sorry, who plays his sister?
Carey Mulligan.
Carey Mulligan, who is really fucked up in her own right, but nowhere near as fucked up as this guy is. The thing is that he's created a universe of solitude where no one else knows how fucked up he really is. He doesn't like anyone in his world, so when she comes and stays there, it's fucking up his scheme. He's being made to be aware of how fucked up he really is. And some levels, he's like accusing her of the same shit that's his own problem.
That shit had me laughing. But the way he's got such a sex addiction, he can't stop fucking. And yeah, with her there, he's like, "You're a loose woman. You're crazy. You're all fucked up. You're ruining everything. You need to straighten out." And you're like, dude, do you really not have any mirrors in your house?
That's why he doesn't want her there, though, because he sees himself so much in her, and she has more problems. Well, probably more problems than he does, and half of what he's having to face really is out of concern for his sister. And Carey Mulligan is, I think she's great in this movie too.
She is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because they both are very disturbed people. I don't know what the fuck their parents did to them, but they are messed up. Now, Michael Fassbender captures that character very well too, because it's not just anguish of having to just constantly have sex all the time, but it's also, you get to see the other side of sex addiction, which is you can't be intimate with anybody, at least in his particular case.
What's your longest relationship? Exactly.
You can pour. 4 months.
You have to commit. You have to actually give it a shot.
I did. For 4 months.
Not only is it uncomfortable and sad, but it's embarrassing too, and it's one of the most uneasy things that I've seen on screen this year. For them to just be able to capture all that makes it a good movie to me. I know you didn't probably feel as much that way as I do, Leon, because you felt like this didn't come to any real conclusion.
That's kind of what it comes down to. I mean, there's been this falls into a category with a number of these screenings that we've seen this year, where it's a great character piece, no doubt, great acting, and I'm totally involved in it, and yet when it comes to that point where I want to know, like, okay, what's this coming to? Where's the wrap up? What is it ultimately trying to say? It just cuts off. It's like, oh, well, I guess what it was trying to say, it said 30 minutes ago, and I just kind of sat around. And, it's not like, when people like with, no Country for Old Men, you want a Hollywood ending. It's like, no, but I wanted an actual ending. And the thing is, there's been movies that have done it, and I'll bring up Everything Must Go, where it was a story about a guy who was self-destructing. And yet that did manage to have a full story where it came around and gave you some kind of conclusion. And with this, it was like, okay, wow, something big just happened. Now what? Now what? What? Go home. That's it.
So it's just like a slice of this guy's
Yes,
life.
exactly.
Well, that's what I was about to say, though, but that's why that doesn't bother me at all, because I feel like it does come to a conclusion in the context of it being a slice of life film. It comes in without much preamble at all. There really isn't much plot to speak of. It's really just an examination of the one core element of this guy's life and how it's shooken up by the presence of his sister. And the ending, that it comes to in and of itself is that we know that one chapter of his life is finished and a new one is bound to begin. But what that is up to your interpretation. Now, that being said, I have problems with these type of films when they literally give you nothing to like about the main character, other than well, like I said, Corey could identify with him, but
Hey, that's my hero. You leave that
Well,
guy alone.
yeah. Oh, it's Magneto.
you literally have to project things onto him to find something to like about him as a person, because he's an asshole to absolutely anyone who crosses his path. I mean, he's just not a nice guy in any way. He uses everyone around him. He's a total jerk to his sister. I mean, like, wow, he mistreats her like crazy. Just, it was one of those things, like, if you had given me something to hold on to, some core kernel of his personality that goes, no, there's a good guy in here, I would have had a lot more interest. But that's why I had problems. Now, like you said, Corey, great performances all around, no question.
Sure.
Beautiful cinematography at points.
Yeah.
But I couldn't really get into his story because of that.
So I'm assuming because maybe they would have made it more interesting if he felt sorry for these people, that he was like, coming in their lives, even though he knew he only had one objective. But at the same time, like, if there's some kind of sympathy behind him just wanting to fuck.
He felt sorry for himself. He has moments where he realizes, like, shit, things are bad for me. I'm in a bad way, but that's about it. He's like passively self-destructive. Like, you watch his life. Like, at first when he's fucking a bunch of chicks, it's like, yeah. But the more it goes on, and the fact that you see that he has no ability to be intimate with people who like genuinely like if a chick is really into him, he can't get it up.
He can't
for her.
perform.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
with it.
this is a guy that has to order prostitutes or have one night stands, and the dirtier the better.
Go to swingers clubs.
Yeah, swingers. I mean, if he's fucking next to a dumpster, stand on top of a bum, that's a turn off for him. But if it's like flowers, nice hotel room, and it's a girl that's really into him, he's like, sorry.
But he's just fucking like chicks, right?
But-
He's
well,
not going
let's
to
not get in, let's not
jump
get too far into this. Where we
okay.
say watch the movie, but
Okay.
But so I see more into this character, complexity more than probably you guys do, because this is a guy. Him not being able to be intimate is part of his cold, the coldness that you see. I don't think that he's necessarily a bad guy. I think that he's just a guy who's had this addiction for so long that he doesn't know how to relate to people. I mean, he's just like that psychopath that you see in a movie who kills because he just has no feelings. This instead of killing, this guy just has to have sex. And I mean, there's moments where I don't think he really is feeling sorry for himself. I think he just realizes that this is something that he can't control, and he really feels bad about it. He wishes that he could change, and he can't. And that's the other reason why I don't think we really need like some sort of clarity about the end of this film or where this guy's going next, because we have to be left to say, it's up to us to figure out, what is this guy going to do next? What is his own conclusion going to be? We're not being told. We just have to hope for the best for this person.
Well, I mean, assuming that you would have any hope for him at all. Like I said, I feel sorry for anybody who is that fucked up to a certain extent, but not enough to go take him out to dinner or something. And nor did I care enough after 2 hours about this guy. I'm kept waiting for them to show me something where I should personally give a shit. Like, it's interesting because we haven't seen this subject matter really explored on film, right? And certainly not by as competent as an actor as Michael Fassbender. But at the same time, it wasn't engaging to me.
Yeah, I know. I hear you, man. I do agree with you on one thing, though. I love movies about, any kind of city. I mean, we were talking about how Midnight in Paris, Paris was a character in that movie. I feel like everybody's putting so much on the sex in this movie because it's NC-17 and it is very heavy and very graphic. But one of the things I like about it is that New York, I love when New York is filmed this way. It especially like Manhattan, urban New York, when all these people go to like all these like really trendy places. And
you just want to know the places to go get cheap sex.
I just want to tell
the movies like right here and right here.
I'm writing down the names.
I'm looking at Corey right now, and I don't know if you can tell on the computer, but he's already booking his next trip to New York, which is like tomorrow. So,
vacation out of shame.
Honestly,
what?
There's
Man?
something that the character does that's almost suicidal. And at that point, that's when I completely lost hope for him.
I know what you're talking about is him like hitting on girls and just bucking up to the man that they're with, whether they be boyfriends or whatever. And I understood like kind of him trying to punish himself.
Sure,
but
it's him like trying to feel something, even if it's extreme pain.
And I didn't dislike that as much as you did. I thought it was pushing the movie a little bit too much, but. Again, I understand that because the guy's trying to like actually feel something.
I get it, and I don't take points away from the movie for that. I just say like at the point he's doing that, it's like when you watch a movie with a junkie who's really far gone.
Yeah.
Like you might have hope for him at first, but there will come a point where you go like, you know what? There's no saving this guy.
You know, almost the only thing we even know about this guy is his personality disorder.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know anything about his past really, except that he has a sister that's also fucked up, and he can't stand to be around her. And that's about it. That's about the extent of knowledge that we have about this guy.
Yeah.
And the fact that every other feeling that you have to have about him is stuff that you have to project on him and invent for him to feel like he's got some depth. What can I say? I'm like, sure, if you can do that, great. But I thought that like a great performance goes a long way towards that. But yeah, it just wasn't enough for as far off the deep end as he really goes for me to go, okay, well, he's disintegrating, sure, but why should I care?
Something I didn't so much enjoy watching but greatly appreciated was that, like, of all the sex scenes, probably the longest, the most involved, the most graphic was with the girl who genuinely cared for him. To where that really sold the point to where, like, wow, this girl who's really into him, they're having this great sex scene, and yet this is where it fails for him because she cares, and that's when he's like, nope.
Yeah, he just pretty much was a guy like with erectile dysfunction. You're like, sorry, I can't get up, get out.
Yeah,
get out so I can get Dollar Hooker on the phone. You know, and Cole,
fix this shit, yeah.
You know the thing you might like about this. Now, you and I hate to put us in the same boat like this, but you
Okay.
You
Don't let
I
them
can't
do
wait to hear this. Yeah, let's go.
You know, you and I can be childish sometimes. And
Of course.
I mean, I know some people are going to want to see this movie after it gets a little bit more marketing, a little bit more focus in the news, because there are some very graphic sex scenes in this. I mean, there's a point where he puts on a bib, gets a knife and fork, and just eats ass. I mean, it's
I can't believe this isn't rated X. I mean, maybe it is.
It's NC-17.
Is it?
so,
Okay, because there's a
Wow.
moment that's I would say is actually showing penetration, but
Well, you get to see him walk around with his dick flopping around everywhere.
That's the part I'm talking about. You love,
Okay,
man.
I can't wait. Yeah,
You love Magneto, Nate.
yeah.
You know,
It reminds me of Watchmen.
you said you were on the same boat. I didn't know it was the same ferry.
Damn.
Find a glass and throw it at you.
I forgot my change. What I was gonna ask you, Corey. I mean, I pretty much heard these guys' dislikes, but you said it wasn't perfect. Maybe I missed something, but what didn't you think was perfect about the film?
For a lot of people, and not so much me, to a certain extent. I mean, it's one of those movies again that's sort of extended, sort of long, because there are moments of just quiet. There are moments of people sitting around looking at each other. I think the pacing is just slightly off a little bit. I mean, it could be picked up just a tad. But I do admire the direction here. I can see why he does this. I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be, you're supposed to reflect on his loneliness, and that's what they're trying to achieve. I just thought they could have sped up a little bit more. Directed by a guy named Steve McQueen.
Right. It's not the Steve.
No, it's not.
That would be
Resurrected.
Yeah.
I mean, they wanted you
But
to
yeah,
know
I heard
that.
this guy interviewed. He's some weird little British guy.
Oh yeah, they wanted you to like not think about Steve McQueen so much that they turned the director black. No, seriously, Steve McQueen.
Really?
Yeah, this is a black director, and have any of you ever seen the movie Hunger?
I have not.
I have not either.
It got very good reception at Cannes when it played there. That's all I know about.
Yeah, I've been wanting to see it, and this director worked with Michael Fassbender on that. I didn't know he's a black director. I just thought it was cool because this is a guy who ain't trying to be Spike Lee and make like a black movie. It's like, in fact, he went out of his way to make sure that there were no black people in except one. And this is one girl that's interested in Michael Fassbender. Again, Michael Fassbender not playing a British guy. He does actually play a true New Yorker in how
He's
accent very well.
Irish/German.
Yeah, man, look, I don't joke about this too much sometimes, but I'll put it out there. I'll be honest with you. Maybe I do see myself a little bit in this character. There was a long time ago when Leon pulled me aside and he would tell me, like, do you know how much of a fucking addict you sound like right now? I was like, yep. Actually, I didn't even hear him because there was a girl walking by. What'd you say? I'm sorry. What again? But
if there's a rehab for pussy, I ain't going.
12 steps to the whorehouse, goddamn. But I will say that just the performances in this movie and just making me feel something that I would never think of like as a true addiction, just making me finally see it and looking at it like, man, this really is a problem. I mean, if people do live like this and it's portrayed like I see it, I feel that. I feel bad for people who have it. Other than that, I just thought it was great direction. I thought it was, again, great cinematography, several great performances in this movie. I even like the guy's boss. I'm trying to look up the actor's name, James Badge Dale. I thought that guy was pretty cool because he looked at Michael Fassbender. He didn't know that he had a bunch of porn on his computer, but he's like, you got DP, double DP, black on green, and cream pie. Like I don't even. This sounds like a bakery. I don't even know what half of this. I don't even know half this shit is.
Like, clearly, that guy who was here that one day put all that shit up. Yeah, clearly.
You know, it's a movie like this that makes you feel something that character is feeling, and I don't think it's just me. I think anybody can at some point see what this character is all about. I love that about the movie. Like I said, co-host has problems, but enough for me to give it full price.
Okay. I don't have a problem with the pacing. I really don't.
You don't? Okay.
I don't. And the acting and cinematography, I mean, I agree with all the positive you say. As a matter of fact, the fact that it is a movie that does show you sexual addiction in a way where you don't go like, oh, every guy is sexually addicted. You just want to fuck. It's like, no, this is a serious problem, and I would not want to be this guy. I feel bad for him. And yet, as Cyrus points out, I feel bad for him only to a point because I don't really know him. His life is out of control. He's going to crash and burn. By the time it ends, without showing me that, without giving me a big thing to happen to tie it all together.
Consequence?
Yeah. I mean, there's something that happens. It's one of those movies where you're waiting for it to reach a crescendo to tell me what it's all about. And when something does happen, you're like, ooh, okay, wow, that's huge. Okay, so what's the aftermath of that? Well, the aftermath is the house lights come on and you get your ass out of the
You gotta go in the parking lot and look for your car.
Yeah, hey, you consider yourself a writer, you go write an ending for this because we don't have one. So, and that ultimately makes it kind of like, well, it was an exercise in a slice of life, but there's a lot of movies like that, and there's other movies that are able to carry it all the way through, and I would have preferred to have seen that. So that makes it come out to a matinee for me.
I keep coming back in my head, and I couldn't help but think about, as I was watching it, American Psycho. But in the sense, like, let's picture that character in real life, like a real guy, not the highly exaggerated, hyperbolic Christian Bale version, but of all those qualities that he had, and the same problem, except instead of killing, he's fucking.
Yeah.
And that same sort of shallow, I can't control myself. I'm not sure if I even want to control myself. I'm not sure I'm willing to acknowledge I have a problem sort of way. Cross that with a sort of the cinematography and a lot of the feeling of the city of Lost in Translation. I got a lot of that type of feel to it, that sort of pacing.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It works because it's kind of beautiful to watch the way it's all pieced together, but really not a lot actually happens on the whole. It's just kind of I'm just going about my life. Here's the time when I get in the morning and brush my teeth, and now I'm going to go and get something to eat.
Fuck about 12 chicks on my way.
Now I'm going to fuck a bunch of chicks on the way. Yeah, it's the wipe in Star Wars, except with his dick. But like I said,
there's a chick parking her car. I think I'll go fuck her.
It kind of came to that at points. I don't know though. I wish I could have given me something more to emotionally grab onto with this. I mean, I guess I can respect it in a sort of cold, detached sort of way. I mean, like, it is beautiful, but in such a clinical fashion almost. It's another one of those rare films where there's so much sex with hot woman, and yet it's not really sexy at all. And so. I don't know.
That's a crime.
Yeah, it kind of is, really. It kind of made you feel, I mean, you're supposed to feel dirty. But like I said, to some degree, I go to films purely to enjoy them, and I was having a hard time finding something to grasp onto to really enjoy here. So
I find something to grasp onto.
Like I said, I think technically...
You think that.
Really? Yeah.
Hey, in the beginning, you might.
Yeah.
I think to me, that's what trapped me, where in the beginning, I was like, yeah. And it's like, oh.
Yeah.
It's like, ew.
Like I said, I think technically there's a lot of good stuff going on here. I think this is obviously a director to be watched, but it just didn't grab me. I'm going to give it a low matinee, because there is a lot to like, but that's as much as I can.
I think that's a really good point, though. Two things you brought up, like the comparison to American Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, American Psycho took place in the 80s. This is, of course, modern day, but I can see those comparisons like very directly. And the other thing is like, yeah, that's an excellent point. That all of the sex in here, it just seems really disgusting. I mean, it's not even, maybe not disgusting, but just seems sad. Right. You're not turned on because it's just
it's clinical.
Yeah. Well, yeah, even like that one scene where I was getting turned on, the way it ends up was just like, wow, that is a serious buzzkill right there.
Don't nobody move. My penis is waking up. I'm not at fault for what happens next.
Ghost is like, not again, not
fuck
again.
Stop me before I fuck again.
Somebody throw that vacuum cleaner out here.
I'm trying to help you.
How are you helping me, huh? You come in here and you're away
weight on me. You're a burden.
You want to get out of here? I could take you somewhere.
We're family. We're meant to look after each other.
Hey, Romeo!
Brandon, please will you pick up the phone?